G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a very different video today. We're in the style of Let's Talk Footy, and in the background, as you can see here, we've got the KFC Supercoach. This is my third year of Supercoach, but the man who joins us today, who is currently on 7,000 subscribers, very close to 7.5, so make sure you do head on over and subscribe. This is someone that I have watched the channel for years and years, create some really good rugby league content. Let's pop over and say hello to Mr. Luke Sports. How you going?
How we going? Thanks for having me on.
No worries. So you've been playing Supercoach for years, mate. You'd call yourself an expert rather than a rookie these days. So it's going to be fun.
Results don't reflect it, but I've done it for a while.
That's good. Well, look, it's taken me a long time to come up with my team. I guess I could probably go through towards the end my original team, but it was hard to do this year because you don't know exactly where positions are going to be. There's a lot of young and coming talent, and that's what you've got to really come with Supercoach. You've got to pick up and coming talent who are actually going to play, not just be outside of the squad all year. But you've got your whole team set.
I would like to wait until the actual round one teams are announced, so you can try and have a look for a few little diamonds in the rough. But I'm fairly happy with it. I put it together today. Like I said, generally wait till round one and then I just see who's in and out. But I can't see too many changes. But I can't really see any guys who are like bargain budget buys. They're either guys who aren't going to play at all or guys who probably won't play for a good part of the season. Like you guys like Suwali and stuff. Like maybe they'll get a go, maybe they won't. Is it worth having in the side? I don't know. But yeah, it's a different one this year.
What's your current remaining salary based on your players that you've got?
So I've got 104,000.
Okay, so I've got 294,000 in mine. I want to ask you before we get into our actual teams, which will go basically one by one. Have you felt like you've spent more of that money towards your hooker, fullback, or your halves? Is there a certain position where you feel like you've gone for cheaper options to get that boost of a better position player?
I think I put vast majority of my money into the forwards, fullback.
Okay.
I feel like you could have like an actual strong fullback, and then like the reserves and stuff. I don't know, but halves I kind of did, but probably not as much as I should have. But I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's the second row forwards that I've really spent my money on, as well as the fullback, which has helped make. I guess my halfback's a cheaper option, but I feel like I've got a really good hooker. So, but speaking of the hooker, let's get straight into it. I'll let you go first. Who have you picked at this stage for your hooker for the 2021 season?
So I went with Damien Cook from the Rabbitohs. He's 621,000, and I think he was they still had Cameron Smith listed on the KFC Supercoach. Yeah, and he was like 700 and something. But I think Damien Cook was in the next one, and obviously Cameron Smith's not playing, so Damien Cook's your most expensive hooker, I'm pretty sure. So I've chucked him in there. He's just I think whether Rabbitohs go on and win it, I think he's going to be in a good side at least, and I think he's going to score a couple of tries. And I think this is a pretty consistent sort of price for him. So he's sort of an easy one to go for.
For me, I've gone with Penrith Panthers' Api Coruscant. I think that he had an outstanding season. You nearly went with him? Yeah, he is currently at originally. Oh, right. He's currently at 587,000. I think it's a really good price. I could see him being worth a lot higher. I know I don't take too much out of trials. He was really, really good in the trials. He looks like he can back up that season that he had out of dummy half. I think he's going to create plenty of try assists at the Panthers this year. So I think that was my good choice. I'll go with my reserve hooker here. I've weirdly got a feeling that the Knights are going to have a really, really good season. And for that reason, I've gone with Jayden Brailey. He's currently at... You got the same?
Yeah.
He's currently at 356K. So we've both gone with the reserve hooker there. Now, have you got the Knights in the top 6?
I'm going to say no.
No. Okay.
But I haven't thought in depth about it. I know Pong is missing the first start of the season, and I feel like you need to get off to a good start. Otherwise, you're just playing catch up. But I mean, they've recruited decently. Like Frizzell's there, so he could be a big change. Plus, like Mitchell Pearce, there's a lot of controversy with him, but I don't know. They're a bit like they could either be really, really good or really bad. So we'll see. But Bradley's going to be big. Basically, a new signing for him. Played like one game last year.
Yeah, he's going to be big this year. I, for some reason, have the Knights having a really good year. It's a really, really strange prediction. I've actually got the Knights in third. Now they have they've got without Kalen Ponga for the first few rounds. They play the Bulldogs, who are one of their arguably bogey teams. They haven't beaten the Bulldogs in 7 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Knights score in regards to Supercoach against that Bulldogs team, or if they can get a win for round one. But I just think they're in for a good year, and I think Brayley's a good dummy half to have your backup.
Well, at least for him, he's someone who's going to have big minutes. He's got the captaincy role, so I can't. Maybe they'll chuck Connor Watson or someone in there at times, or a Kurt Mann. But I feel like you're going to get decent minutes. He's got a good motor on him, tackles a lot, and that's what you want in Supercoach. You need guys who do heaps of tackles.
All right, let's get into your front rowers. Go with your front two, and then I'll go with mine, and we'll get to our reserves.
So I've gone with Josh Papali, Josh Papali, and I've gone with Big Tino from the Titans.
Wow. Do you know what? I had the exact same thing as you up until the trials. For some reason, Tino, for mine, he looked absolutely fantastic in the trial. But just before the trials, I had that exact same front rower. I've gone a little bit of a risk here, and I've gone with where I think the offload ability is going to come from in the front row. I'm going to go with at 528K currently, brand new signing, potential to be by the year. I don't have them having a great season, but he's going to be a standout. I've gone from Addin Fonua-Blake from the New Zealand Warriors. I think that he is a good Supercoach player based on previous years as well. So I'm expecting big things from him there in the front row. If he doesn't perform in the first 5 rounds, I'd probably sell him and look towards Tino if I could afford him based on the Titans start. I'm not sure how their starts of the season will be, but I definitely got them in my 8. My other front rower at 522K, which I think is way too low for him. His offload ability, especially his tackle breaks, is huge. I've gone with another Penrith Panther here. I've gone with James Fisher-Harris. I think he's in for another big season. He's shown a lot of form in previous years.
They're both two guys I definitely had a look at. The reason I went for Tino, he was at 504,000. And I thought that's based off him sort of coming off the bench for the Storm. I feel like he's going to have a way more bigger role at Titans. So I feel like at least, if he might not set the world on fire in terms of scores, but he's at least going to have more involvement. If he's already at that price, I can see him going up. And Papali's just Papali. He's at least pretty consistent. I feel like Raiders are in for a good year. So, he was just an easy one to chuck in. I get worried. I was going to say with Damien Cook. That was when I was talking about Coruscant. I had him originally. That Coruscant is a good option because I always tend to end up come state of origin time and half my team's gone and I can't put a team together. So it's taking that stuff into account. So like Papali, someone he's going to play for Queensland, even if he's not, he's injured. So I suppose you don't want to have your team just completely decked out with Queensland, New South Wales guys. So that's why I think your guys are pretty good.
Thank you. On my bench, I'll go with my bench here against you. I've got Stefano Utoikamanu. I think he showed some really good promise when he did play.
He from Tigers?
He's coming to the Tigers from the Eels, yep. He's currently 186K. I think it's an absolute steal if he can continue the form he was in. I was very close to taking Sean Bloor from the West Tigers as well. I think they've got some really good forwards coming through. I just think the injury is going to be way too big for the first few rounds at the Tigers. I have some tough games as well there. And then my other one, normally, now this is a player that I've never had in Supercoach. I've always thought about. I really hope he gets to make his debut this year. It's Zach Sadler from the Manly Seagull. Now, Zach has played in both Maori All-Stars games back-to-back years. He's put in some great performances. Manly look to recruit, I think, for Addin Fonua-Blake. Josh Aloiai is there, but I feel like this could be a chance that Sadler gets to really step up and make a spot in this 17 if he does. He's currently 173K for someone who's played NRL but not an NRL debut. I think that's a steal, and that's why I've gone with Zach Sadler there.
I've definitely heard his name. I don't know, maybe he's at the Bulldogs or something. I feel like I've heard the name for a little while. but I don't really know too much about him. But I saw him when I was going through the teams and saw that he wasn't much. In terms of my bench, I've gone with Paul Vaughan from Dragons. He's at 513,000. I think it just, in terms of the players around him, that like they've lost Frizzell, they've lost James Graham, they've lost a lot of good players around him. So if someone's going to step up, well, someone needs to step up for him, I should say. So I think he will get a lot more output from him. That's in theory, anyways. And the other guy I've got is Spencer Leniu from Penrith. I feel like he's going to get more opportunities. James Tummy's not there. He's at 218,000. So there's been a lot of clubs chasing him. So I feel like if he's not going to get played, other teams are going to go after him. So I feel like Penrith have an incentive to play him. So yeah, get some game time, hopefully.
I had originally someone, when I checked my screenshots to confirm it, but we mentioned the Bulldogs. Someone who I think coming to the Bulldogs, it could be really good off the front row off bench. I had Jack Hetherington thrown up in the mix. I think that he isn't too bad at Supercoach. He wasn't too bad at Penrith either with his points. So he was someone to I'm going to keep my eye on, but at this stage,
he's at a pretty good price. He's pretty decent price wise. Once again, same with you, I was looking at him and I was like, well, he's going to be starting pretty decent minutes, but I want to see what he's like penalty wise, because I've heard that he's
discipline.
Yeah, because I don't want to have a guy who's in and they're getting good points, but they're out for a couple of weeks every time.
No, that's true.
Have a good game and then suspended. So we'll see if he can sort of discipline out a bit.
Let's get into my, I'll move this. We'll get into my second row forwards. I've gone with 569,000, the other big bopper who comes to the Gold Coast Titans, David Fifita. David Fifita there as the first choice. He's going to be huge for the Titans as long as injury doesn't strike him again. I think he's in for a really big season. We've seen just how
100%.
good he is. So I think he's going to have an absolute blinder year. I mentioned the Knights and how good they're going to be, and I think that missing piece of the puzzle and someone who actually is quite good in regards to scoring Supercoach, even though the Dragons weren't great last year, a new club, new experiences around players. Might take a while for him to get running, but I think Tyson Frizzell is going to be back to some of his best form, in for a huge year. He's actually at quite a high price, so it is a bit of a risk taker here. He's currently at 556K, so it actually surprised me. I would have had him around that 430,000 maybe mark, but I was a little bit surprised by this. And then my final choice for the starting front row, I've gone with Victor Radley. Now, Victor will probably be back around round 3, I'm reading at the moment, for the Sydney Roosters. Again, like Jayden Brailey, he basically spent the whole season out, so he's definitely going to want to get back into that starting role and play with this team. He's currently at 445,000. For me, that's an absolute steal.
I think you're right. I think you're pretty on the money there, to be honest.
Who have you got?
I've got Angus Crichton at 670,000, I think. I don't know if he was the most expensive one. He's either like one of the top 3. And I think just with Boyd Cordner being out for the start of the season, maybe who knows how long Boyd Cordner is going to be out for. But I think the Roosters are going to be at least a strong side to start the season, if not the best side. They're definitely going to be a top side. And I feel like Crichton's going to have a lot of involvements. He gets involved with tries a lot. I can see him having a big season. I've gone with Josh Jackson for the Bulldogs.
Okay, yep. I looked at him. Yep.
He's at 439,000. Generally wouldn't look at him too much, but he's going to be playing lock apparently, and I can see him playing the whole 80. And if he's at 439, it's kind of like Tino. If he's at 439, I feel like his role got reduced to just being on the edge and making a couple tackles. Whereas in the middle, he's going to be just cleaning up a lot of stuff, making a lot of tackles, making a lot of those shit runs. So I can see him getting through a lot of work and his price rising, and then do something with him later. And then, and the third one is Corey Harawira-Naera, 302,000. Okay. John Bateman missing from Raiders, leaves a spot open. Thought 302,000. I thought it's a pretty good price for him. Pretty much chucked him in there. Bench-wise, gone with Ben Murdoch-Masila. He's 330. Honestly, don't know a great deal about him. I remember him at the Tigers, I think, back in the day when he was playing there. But I've heard good things about him in the Super League. I've heard he's got a pretty good motor on him. We'll see how he goes. I think he's worth a punt. I've got Jacob Host for the Rabbitohs, 317,000. think he was pretty decent in the Charity Shield. I'm pretty sure his output was like one of the highest ones. So we'll see how they go. And then I got Jordan Ricky. I was kind of just looking for someone who's, I was looking for someone who is not going to break the bank, but has potential to grow a fair bit. And I feel like he's definitely one of them.
Well, I've got Jacob Host and Jordan Ricky as well on my bench. Both prices mentioned there. Jordan Ricky definitely coming through, looking the goods. I think there's a little bit overhype potentially right now, but I still think he's a fantastic player coming through. He'll do a lot. I think there is a little bit too much talk at present, and he needs that step back of talk to kind of adapt to the game at first. Jacob Host, I feel like he's going to get that final starting spot against, I think Keelan Kolomatangi is in talks against Jacob Host kind of in regards to that final spot in the 17. Big Charity Shield game, new club, new experiences. He was great at the Dragons, in some really good form last year. He was previously on season 1 of Let's Talk Footy, and I messaged him. I'll actually show this on screen now. Let me get it up. I actually messaged him saying, where was it? What's his Instagram? Hosty. Oh, where's the message gone? He deleted his message. Okay, well, I messaged him and said, don't make me regret this, boy, and sent the Supercoach team. And no, here it is, sorry. He said, and he replied, as you can see on the screen, you won't, with a kissy face. So, hopefully he brings up some big points there throughout the season. And the third choice, I'm mainly going off the Broncos and Sharks game last year and those Sharks debutants. I don't expect much from the Sharks this year, but someone at 250K that might get some more game time. I'm not sure if you know him, have watched him closely, but I've gone with Tague Wilton. I think he's a fantastic player. I got to watch a bit of him as well against the Raiders towards the end of the season. I think he's someone with a lot of promise who's gone under the radar a bit.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know him, but at the same time, and if he's played a couple of games, I'll probably just miss the game. But they're the ones that you want to get, the ones who are at those sort of prices and just looking for an opportunity, come in. It could be a real good one for you.
Well, I'll go into my halves here. Look, I'm taking a bit of a gamble here. Now, obviously, my front row, my hooker, my fullback, real good. So I feel like my 5'8" is good, but my halfback could make you laugh. Someone who's coming back from injury, currently at 386,000. I just think
I know exactly who you're going for here.
I know exactly who I'm going for here. Do you like the choice?
Yeah, because I've made the same choice.
You've made the same choice. I've gone with Michael Morgan from the North Queensland Cowboys. There you go. We've both gone for the halfback option there. I think he's going to have a big year.
I've actually got him in at 5'8". But
you've got him at 5'8". Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got him in that halfback position. I think he's in for a quite a solid season. I've got the Cowboys outside the 8. I have got them fighting in. I think through a lot of this season, the Cowboys will be in the 8. I think there'll be a lot of performances where they will stick it out, get the win, hold on, grind. I think they're going to be a lot better team. Unfortunately, I've got them out of final, but I think Michael Morgan can stay uninjured and really partner well with Scott Drinkwater in this season. I'm expecting big things. And then on the bench, I'm expecting Corey Norman to play for, say, the first maybe 4 to 5 rounds. I think he will be forced out of the side for a while to give Jaden Sullivan a go. He's currently at 205,000, so that's a really good price if you think that he's the gun. He could really bring a lot to this Dragons team in the halves with Adam Clune. I thought Adam Clune was great last year, so the coaching at the Dragons could be huge for Jaden Sullivan, but I just don't know if Anthony Griffin's hit and miss, so I definitely can't have him as a starter. Michael Morgan, my starting halfback, with Jaden Sullivan on the bench.
Well, at least we know Corey Norman's not playing the first round, so it'd be a good indication first round if he gets named. Like, if he's not getting named, well, then it's like, well, he's probably not going to get a shot. But yeah, if he comes in, has a really good game, well, then there you go. Like, at least you got some runs on the board. See how he goes. Like, if he comes in and is a bit of a dud, you get rid of him early on. But yeah, it's pretty good options there. For me, I've gone Nathan Cleary at halfback. He's 734,300. I think he might be the second most expensive person in like.
I think he's the most expensive on Supercoach. I'm pretty sure under Cameron McInnes. I'm pretty sure. I think he's the most expensive on the whole thing.
I'm looking at one that's got another 100,000 on him right now.
Oh,
in the 800s. Yeah, so Tedesco.
Right. Okay. Oh.
But Tedesco's a fair bit. So yeah, Nathan Cleary 734. It is risky, but not risky. It is pricey, I should say. But Nathan Cleary is I don't think it's like a one-season wonder. He kicks goals. Penrith are going to keep scoring points, I would imagine. And I think he runs Penrith. They're going to do well. So he's in there. And like I said, a big thing is he kicks goals, does most of the sort of in-game kicking. So a lot of his points, I feel like, are something that's just going to stay there this season. So hopefully he lives up to his price tag. 5'8", as we talked about before, Michael Morgan. You've pretty much already covered it. Coming back from injury, and forget how good Michael Morgan actually can be. It's just a matter of whether his body's broken. Is he going to end up like another Kieran Foran? Like, really good start to his career, but injury just kill him. We'll find out this season. My reserves, I've got Mitchell Moses, 481,000.
Okay.
I've chucked him in there because, once again, goal kicking, and I've had him in previous seasons, and if Eels are going good, Mitchell Moses is going good. And he didn't really have too many try assists and stuff last season, so that part was lacking. And I think we're going to see guys like Ferguson and Sevo really come along this year, especially Ferguson get back to form. And I think as a result, more tries are going to be scored, more goals kicking, more try assists. And plus, Dylan Brown's going to be there for the whole season, bit of help. So I think the Eels are going to be at least decent this season. So I think his price is going to go up. Connor Watson, I've got him as my backup 5'8". He covered 5'8" and hooker. He's at 288,000. A lot of the talk at the moment is he's going to end up playing like lock, something along the lines of that, possibly. I don't know whether he'll end up playing there off the bench. I don't really know, but I feel like he's going to have a spot in the side. And at 288,000, I feel like he's going to go up at least a bit. And if he does end up playing in the forwards a bit, I think that's even better in terms of rising in price.
I'll tell you what, you mentioned Nathan Cleary with that price tag, but let's not forget, he kicked a 40-24, 40-20s in 2020, one to start 2021 in a trial match. Like, that is showing that he's definitely not a one-year wonder. So I'm expecting big things there. For the 5'8" position, I've actually gone with Jack Whiten. So Jack Whiten to go with Michael Morgan. I think he's been in some fantastic form. Obviously, I don't know about the Dally M medal. I think it was a little bit... But he's a fantastic player who's obviously getting a lot of points scored in regards to these type of fantasy Supercoach type of situations. So I think he's a good choice there. He's at 516. And then my backup option, if Kieran Foran gets injured, I guarantee you that this bloke will get a run. His potential for me to be, if he gets enough game time, Schuster, he could be the rookie of the year. I'm telling you now, I've been watching Schuster for a long time. He's currently at 203,000. I love watching this kid. If Foran does unfortunately miss out in this Manly side due to injury, Josh Schuster, because Cade Custer's currently injured as well, this gives Josh the best time to play. I think he's a really good reserve 5'8" option.
Also, in that regards as well, with Manly, they don't have a hooker. So they're going to be shifting around players. There's talk Foran's going to play hooker. The Cade Custer, I think, is the front runner. So any sort of injuries or if they shit the bed, essentially, that opens up spots for Schuster. Not necessarily play hooker, but, maybe a bench spot. If they do move Foran into 5'8", there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of sort of scenarios that I could see him actually getting in the side. So yeah, I do like that one. It's one I consider myself.
Perfect. Let's get into your wingers and centers. Go with your 4, and then I'll go with my 4, and then we'll get into our bench.
So you're probably thinking at the moment a lot of money put in the forwards. You'd be right. And that leaves not too much money for wings and centers. So I've got Bailey Simonson from the Raiders.
Okay.
Kind of getting his opportunity finally. Been coming off the bench a lot for him, coming in, filling in when injuries happen. But I'm assuming he's going to be the starting center for the whole season, finally getting a chance. But David Fusitu'a at 251,000. I should mention Simonson is 205,000. Fusitu'a is 251,000. I think that's really good for him. I'm not sure why it's so low. Was he one of the players who left last year? Did he play last year?
Yeah, he left last year, and he's still they're still working out their centres as well. So with Ewan Aitken coming into the side, as well as Peter Hiku, we just don't know where Fuss is going to play. Then you got Kemba Marlowe, Adam Pompey on the wing. Like I don't know where he's actually going to find a starting spot or not. I think it's going to be really interesting with Fusitu'a.
Well, I think if he is willing to stay in Australia now, I think he definitely is at least on the wing. I think you go him and Mamalo, like him and Marlo and Tuivasa-Sheck. If nothing, that's a really good back three. So we know what he's capable of. Plus, he's going to be fresh. He isn't going to be busted from last season. So that I think that helps in his favour. I've also got James Roberts at 277. Obviously, a guy who's a bit hit and miss, I think, on Supercoach because he's not someone who gets in and does a lot of the hard runs and, he's not getting kick returns and stuff like your wingers. But he is someone who I think can score. Like he's obviously quick. He's obviously a try scorer, attacking weapon. And he looked in pretty good nick so far in terms of trials and that. And I think Tigers are going to be a team that will score a fair few points, probably leak a few points. But James Roberts, I think he is a pretty solid one. Just price-wise, I'm looking for guys who are going to be rising in price. Then I can bring in the big guns later on. And then speaking of someone who could be a big gun, Blake Ferguson, 352,000. A pretty poor season from him. I've chucked him in there because in previous seasons he's been really good for me. In saying that though, last year he didn't score many tries. So the price I feel like doesn't really justify what I think his actual output would be this year. I think he's going to score a lot more tries, obviously, than like the 2 or 3 or whatever. I think it took 16 rounds or something for him to actually
16
score.
rounds against the Warriors. I was there, lucky on the Central Coast. So
it took a long time for him to get scoring. So I don't think he's going to have the same problem this year. Plus, he's someone who can make a lot of meters. So I think he's a decent option. What's yours?
I've gone with the Cowboys here again at 509,000. Goal kicking as well as fullback or wing. I've gone with Valentine Holmes. I think coming back again fresh. He didn't get a lot of game time last year, had a lot of time that he was out. Look, he still played good while he was there. I think it's a really good option if he's going to have a big season. And this under a new coach as well, especially, I think Valentine Holmes could be in for a big one. It is quite high price compared to the others. So that shocked me a little in regards to who I've got once you hear who I've got. But Valentine Holmes for the starting wing centre. I've gone with Ronaldo Mulitalo. I don't expect much from the Sharks, but I think he's a fantastic player who scores some try. Really gets involved with assisting as well. His passes are quite good to other players as well when he does get the ball to get it around the middle of the field. So that could prove helpful. At 495,000, I've gone with the top try scorer for 2020, who I don't think will be top try scorer again, but he will score plenty of tries, as we've seen, and that is Alex Johnston. Obviously, the Rabbitohs really hyped up to have a massive year. I believe he can have another big year, just not as huge as 2020 in regards to how much he scores, but plenty of opportunities, plenty of ball coming Alex Johnston's way. And the final choice is Justin Olam from the Melbourne Storm. I was actually looking to see whether his Supercoach points were good. And I'll tell you what, he's actually pretty good in regards to points. He's at 402,000. Really strong Melbourne side coming through that want to go back-to-back. Again, a player who will get plenty of balls. So I've got Olam in there.
That's a good option. Justin Olam, I really rate him. He wasn't someone I was like, wasn't on my radar in terms of Supercoach, but just as an actual player, absolute weapon. He's so good. What a great find for Melbourne. Add it to the list of people they've just brought out of obscurity and turned him into stars. That's a good backline. Definitely trumps my one for sure. In terms of the bench, I've got Jason Saab from Manly. I get the feeling he might be a fairly popular one. I think he's someone who everyone looks at his frame. He looks like he should be a good winger. Whether he ends up being that, I don't know. But for 233,000, I think he's worth a punt. I think he's someone who's going to get plenty of game time, especially with like Tom Trbojevic. He's going to play, is he not? Like, who knows? He's injured all the time. So there's probably going to be spots. There's no Brandon Elliott and stuff this year. So there is going to be spots on the wing. Plus, Manly's wingers haven't exactly, been in form as of late. So you got your Ruben Garrick. Is George Tafua still there?
Yeah, George Tafua, Ruben Garrick, yep.
But yeah, they're not guys who you would say are like cemented their spot on the wing for this season. So either he starts on the wing, shift around. I don't know where he's going to play, but I'd expect him to get at least some decent game time, and then rise the price, maybe swap him out later. Gone for comes up as F Niu, but I think is it Tessie Niu?
Yeah, I've got Tessie Niu. I've got Tessie Niu.
So I don't know how the Broncos are going to go, but I think he's someone like with these sort of prices, you're just looking for guys who are going to be playing. I think he's going to get a shot in the centres to start round one. So I've chucked him in there, 232,000. That seems pretty decent. And then the last one I've got is Dane Laurie. Looked fantastic in the trials. Still probably very raw, and you take trials with a grain of salt. But 223,000, highly touted junior. I think he's going to get a shot at the Tigers. I don't know if it's going to be a fullback, wing, centre. I don't know where he's going to play. But if it's fullback, I think he's going to get a lot of points. If it's wing, maybe not so much, but 223,000, I think he's definitely going to rise. So I think he's another one who's going to be super popular in terms of subs and reserves.
Okay, not bad there. I've gone with Parramatta here. My first Parramatta player finally. He comes to a new side. I don't know what to expect of him, but I feel like he can get plenty of ball with Michael Jennings being forced out of the side. I've gone with Tom Opacek here. He's currently he's currently at 325,000. I just think he's a huge chance to have a really big year in this side that could do potentially really well. And as I mentioned, with Jennings out, he should get plenty of ball because it will all be heading towards Sivo, but Opacek could really create some nice opportunity, some good passes or some tackle break occasionally. I feel like he could be a really good option to have.
He's shown glimpses at the Cowboys too as well, where he's actually looked half decent at times, but the Cowboys were just so bad. So, he could literally turn into a gun center at the Eels.
At 297,000, coming off a really solid debut, but actually playing, it was 2 or 3 games last season. I've gone with Charlie Staines from the Penrith Panthers. I feel like with Mansour out of the side, he will get his starting spot, at least for the start of the season. We'll see how he goes defensively and things like that. But I think he's a really good option to have. I think he will score plenty of tries as well. So really good option. And then you've mentioned Tessie Niu at 232,000 with a few games under his belt, with the question of who's going to play centre or fullback. I guess Jermaine Asako is probably going to be one or the other with Tessie Niu into that other spot. I think it's a really good option to have. And even though I guess I don't have the Broncos going well, I think it's an absolute steal there.
The only thing with Charlie Staines, I didn't want to put him in because he's someone who you would normally look at like the amount of games he's played and stuff and go, oh yeah, like a hidden gem. But he's not exactly hidden. Like he scored however many tries. So I feel like his price is probably inflated for what he normally would get because he's not going to be scoring that amount of tries every single game. Yeah, the price that they would have put on him is based off that game. It's like sometimes you like say like Aiden Tolman, super high in terms of the props. Yeah, like it doesn't really reflect how he actually is and probably what he's going to be doing at the Sharks. And I feel like Charlie Staines is another one like that. His price tag is probably a lot higher than what he'll actually do, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong for sure.
All right, well, let's get into our final position, which is the fullback. Who have you gone for your fullback? And also, after you've done this, please reveal your captain.
So I've gone for James Tedesco at 843,000. Highest pay player. He's just highest price player in the whole game, I think. So look, he sort of really explains itself really in terms of Tedesco. If you want to invest in your fullback heavily, got him. I think Ponga might have been the next highest one, but Tedesco is someone who doesn't generally get injured. I think Roosters are in for a big year. Just like I said, it really explains itself.
All right. At 629,000, I've gone with the Melbourne Storm's Ryan Papenhuyzen. Now, with Smith leaving, Papenhuyzen will obviously be goal kicking, which will be a huge factor. We've seen the speed. We've seen what this guy can do in regards to line break. We've seen, I don't know if it gets Supercoach points, but when he bloody knocks the ball in, I don't know if that accumulates anything. The skill that this player has, some things we've never seen before. I think Tedesco's in for another huge season, but for me, Papenhuyzen is one of the players you must have in your team. He's currently, as I said, 629,000. Really good choice. I've gone with Papenhuyzen as my captain for round 1. I think it's going to be tough against this South side that are going to throw everything, and I think he's going to definitely prove that he's in for a big year. On the bench is someone you've already mentioned in your wingers and centres based off the trial. I've gone with Daine Laurie. I think he's a fantastic player coming through. A good option there potentially for fullback at the Tigers with Adam Doueihi. Obviously getting that spot in the halves with Luke Brooks. He could get quite some good game time. Who have you got for your backup, fullback and your captain?
So I'll start with captain. I should have mentioned Tedesco. I think with your captain when you're starting the year, I think you pretty much just go with whoever's your highest amount of player, I should say. And that's obviously for me, Tedesco. Backup, I've chucked in Suaalii. He's 173,000. He's literally a bargain basement one. Whether he gets a shot in the next couple, all it really stems around is whether he's even allowed to play to start off with. But I've just chucked him in there, waiting to see if any of the other players are available. But I think a good thing in terms of Supercoach that doesn't get talked about is like the versatility. It might actually get talked about, I don't know. But is the versatility. So you've got Tessie New from the Broncos, you've got Daine Laurie, and I've got Suaalii. They can all shift between fullback and centre, or centre wing, I should say. So if there is a need for a fullback, you can swap them around. So should be covered there, even if Suaalii doesn't play for a little bit. But yeah, you've just chucked him in there. Probably swap him out before the season starts because, I mean, he's not going to be playing round 1, but that's who I've gone with.
Nice. Well, let's just. I mentioned at the start of the video. I'm gonna read to you because I think you're really, really good at Supercoach. You know exactly what you're doing. I want to read to you my original team. Huh?
Definitely not.
I'm going to read to you my original team that I did have, and I want your thoughts. I won't obviously break down every player because we have been going for almost 40 minutes in this round 1 preview. But originally, these were what I had for Supercoach. And tell me if you think this is the better team or if the team I've given you is a lot better, because I feel like I've new and improved and gone better for the game rather than player skill. Hooker, Harry Grant. Bench, Carl Lawton. Front rower, Junior Paulo into James Fisher-Harris. Ended up keeping him. On the bench, James Tarmo and Jack Hetherington. Front row, Tino, Radley and Frizzell. Second row, Jordan Ricky, which we've kept. Jed Cartwright and Caleb Milne from the Sharks, another gun player to watch. Halfback, Chanel Harris-Tavita with Cameron Munster as the 5'8". Backup, Jaden Sullivan, which I kept, as well as someone who unfortunately is injured, but I think he's got a lot of talent from your Bulldogs, Jake Averillo. Wingers and centres, Stephen Crichton, Cody Ramsey, Nick Kotrick, and Charlie Staines. And then on the bench, I had Josh Morris, Albert Hopewade, and Jamin Salmon. I feel like he could get a chance to play with Penrith during that origin period where a lot of players are out. And my original fullback was AJ Brimson with Suaalii on the bench. Do you feel like I've made better improvements to my side now, or do you think that the original team was better?
I think the team you've got is better. Obviously, there's a lot of hindsight as well because I'm guessing it was probably done before trials. I mean, like you said, he had Harry Grant and stuff in there. So there's a lot of changes that are just, they would have had to have been made to start off with. But yeah, there's a lot of guys who are big names. So there's, say, like your Tamos and stuff. It's like, is he going to be better off this year than last year? I don't know. Like in terms of obviously winning, they're not going to be. But in terms of output, was the Panthers holding him back in terms of the rest of the side was so good he didn't have to do as much? Or would he go to the Tigers and just do the same? I don't know. But yeah, I do think that your team that you've got now is better. Cameron Munster is an interesting one. Not someone I thought about. I don't even know how much he costs, but he's someone who probably will step up a lot. Just in terms of Cameron Smith's not there, so a lot more is going to be asked of Cameron Munster, but it could work in a negative way too. Maybe there's going to be too much asked of Cameron Munster. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, it's been a fantastic chat. I want to thank you so much for coming on the channel, Mr. Luke. Make sure you go and subscribe to Mr. Luke Sports. I'll leave a link in the description for that one. Make sure you drop a comment. Whose team is better? We'll we'll try and come back around the halfway point of the season and the end of the season to see how we go in regards to our points. And I might put some regular Instagram updates on at the Entertain House, so make sure you check out that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. We're officially, how exciting, Luke, we are now 7 days away from the NRL season. The Storm and the Rabbitohs will be kicking off in 7 days' time. How exciting.
Right. Crazy, absolutely crazy. It's come around very, very quick, but I don't know.
Do you think your Bulldogs are going to win round 1 against the Knights? They've been really good against them in recent years. Can they keep it?
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
Not confident, yes, but we'll say yes.
Perfect there. Awesome, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Round 1 tips will be out shortly. That'll probably be coming on Tuesday after the team list. But this has been a really fun video. It's been a long video, but I've really enjoyed it. And this was our official Supercoach review. See you guys next